Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to present you about the secrets to SEO success in 2014. 2013 has been a very tough year for the search industry, and a lot of people think that SEO is dead or SEO is going to die. And I'm going to talk about and take you through some of the parts which actually going to show you that SEO is not dead. It's just that as a search marketer, our job becomes a little more interesting. To start with, let's see what actually Google wants from the user. What actually is Google statement? So most of the time we forget what Google statement is, and that is very important to understand and keep in mind while doing your optimizing your site. And I'll just take you through that. So let's see what is Google mission. Google missions is to organize the world information and make it universally accessible and useful. So that's what Google mission is, and what Google wants from its SERP, or the changes which Google has done. Exact what Google has mentioned on its blog is what I am quoting. The goal of many of our ranking changes is to help searchers find sites that provide a great user experience and fulfill their information needs. And what exactly Matt Cutts says? Our strategy therefore is to make our clients a better search result than their competitors. We make them deserve a rank to rank. This can be split into two simple to understand factors: creating more authority and being a better, more reputable company, making better landing pages, specifically your primary pages. So that's something what Google expects. Now understand what yesterday tactics are the one which are not working anymore. So yesterday SEO tactics to avoid. Of course, SEO is always evolving, and many tactics of the past could now negatively affect your site search rankings. And I'm just going to share some of the few examples with you, some what we should avoid. Some of these you might know, and some of these are new. So yesterday's SEO tactics, one of the very popular and of course been something which Google frowns on, is purchasing links. Overusing keywords within your content and link anchor text, spammy, irrelevant or meaningless comments, low quality and or thin comment, duplicate content either on your site externally, listing on generic link directories. This is some of the tactics which we have seen no longer works, and these are some of the tactics. If you could just avoid them, you would actually see success. It's not that you need to do this to get ranking. You need to avoid this, or you need to fix most of this, and you actually will see ranking increase. Let's see how we can do that. And before we do, let's talk about SERP features. Not more of us, many of us know, but 2013 was the year when Google introduced maximum number of search engine result pages changes ever. Let's look at some of the major ones. We had a 7 result SERP, which this is 1/7. We had a 10 result SERP pages. Then we moved to event site link SERP. So you can see on the right hand side there is event site links. Then we moved to Google brand SERP. I'm going to talk about a little bit how we can get into that. And then we moved to paid shopping, which is left. Of course, you could do with Google Shopping, which was free and then went paid. That's paid shoppings. Then we have knowledge graph, which is very interesting, and most of the people come to us, they want to have a knowledge graph. So we're going to share a little bit about that. We also have related search carousel on SERPs, and now we also have something called as local carousel SERPs. So what are local is, which are of course very much popular in the US, been rolled out, where you see this carousel, and this carousel can actually scroll, and that is something, a challenge for marketers, how to get your website in there. So that's something very interesting, and we see Google to roll out at a lot of places. Just in continuation to this, Google has actually launched restaurant menus also there in the results. So Google just want people to stay on their website and understand, and which we're going to discuss a little bit more. And then Google launched authorship thumbnail. Of course, you could see an example of authorship thumbnail SERPs, which you could see. Then rich snippets and schema. Google has been going. I've been predicting that rich snippet is going to be big since last 2 years, and we are actually seeing something which is going on. So if you see star ratings, reviews, author photos, date of publications, video snippets. So these are all things which you see here, which have been now starting to show up in your results. Again, Google is constantly changing. Just to give you an idea what exactly it means, we had a hummingbird update in October. We had Panda updates. There has been 25 plus updates. Google Panda basically penalizes sites which just duplicate or thin content. Then we had Google Penguin, which penalizes sites for backlinks. So we had 4 updates. Then the last one was in October. Then we had an exact match domain update, which exactly hit people who were buying sites like visitmydoctor.com or taxi for hire in delhi.com. Those are the sites which got hit. Then we have page layout 2 updates. So Google was severe on this. Then we have 7 results updates, which we had. Then we had link warnings. More than 1 million users were issued link warning, and that's something which also came into picture. Then we had knowledge graph, which I showed you a screen. I'm going to go into details into us as well. Then we had a Google Vanish update, and then we have other monthly updates besides the 390 other monthly updates. So this is kind of thing. Let's see what actually is going to search, where exactly it's going. traditional SEO. That's what was previously. If you see Google, technical SEO, content marketing. Now technical SEO was more, but content was less. Now the thing has changed. We have content marketing, we have technical SEO, and if you see, that's what we have social media. We're going to talk about what exactly it is, and it'll take you. So first part, I'm going to touch about technical SEO, which a lot of people say this is SEO, technical SEO is that. It doesn't mean, but over our experience with managing so many hundreds of clients, we have seen that technical SEO is very, very important, and fixing those small things can actually help your rankings improve, and it's dramatically. So let's see some of those, and we're going to talk about some of the SEO audits. So what we do is, when you get an SEO, or when you're starting your SEO, or if let's say you have a website, these are some of the steps I'm going to take in detail through which you can do an SEO audit on your website. So let's see the technical audit, how we do the technical audit. So in technical audits, of course, you do a broken check, links check, indexability, usability, source code, Google Webmaster Tool, errors check, schemas, speed. So that's all what you're gonna do in the technical audit. So let's see some of those. This is just a live example. So what we see is Google Webmaster Tool. So here you see, if you log into your Google Webmaster Tool, you will see that total submitted links for this website is 567. This is from the XML. Total index is 460, and Google index is 1370. That's like more than 100% of the links. So this is like 220% links are indexed in Google, which clearly shows that there is some issue with this website. This is just basic. You just submit your website in Google, submit your XML, you get this data in few hours. You know how many pages are indexed, and this you can just type in Google site:/yourwebsite.com, and it will give you an index number. So this numbers is very, very important. We don't expect all of these to be equal. So you don't expect 567, 567, 567, but 10-20% minus, that should be okay. But here in this case, we see something. So let's dig in deep and see what actually is the issue. So there are certain tools to find out when you get a website. Let's see. One of the tools, one of the very, very older tool is Zeno, which is a broken link checker. Of course, you could find the link here, and you can download. You can just run Zeno on your desktop computer, run through it, and it will give you a whole lot of things how you can fix your website and what else you can do with the website, what errors you do. Our experience is it's a good tool, no doubt. It runs on your desktop, but it's not an efficient tool anymore. Keeping in mind the next tool which I'm going to show are much better. So the next tool which we have is Screaming Frog, one of our personal favorite. Best thing about it, it runs on Windows, it runs on my Mac, it runs on Ubuntu. That's what. Second, but the only downside of it, for the free version, you can have a 500 URL crawl limit. So if your website has 500 or less URLs, this is a good tool to use. However, if your site has more than 500 URLs, then you probably have to buy it. We have almost 10 licenses for this, and we are doing it. So once you run your website, download your website, Screaming Frog, you download your website for broken links. This is how you can see it crawls your website. Takes some time, of course, depend how big the website is. You go to advanced and you can see all these options. So you see how many crawl errors are there, how many clients errors are there, how many server errors are there. You can see all of these here. So that's something you can do with the Screaming Frog, and the kind of results it says, that's in front of for you to see. Of course, you can export them. You can export them as broken links, whichever way you want. Now let's see. Google Webmaster Tools comes with a free information which provides you, and this is very, very important. What Google Webmaster shows here is important for us to fix. So you go to Google Webmaster Tool, log into your account, and I'm assuming you must have set it. It's important for you to go to crawl error and see the server errors there. So you see there are 16 server error, not found 439. These are important for you to fix. So if you click on not found, you will find those links, and you can click on the download and do it. So this is available in Google Webmaster Tools. I'm going to talk about these are some of the tools which as a search marketer you all have been using. So I'm going to talk about, of course, we talk in 2014. So I'm going to talk about some of the important and some of the other tools which we have found interesting. So here, with permission of Digital Vidya, I have run their website through some of their tools, and I'm going to just share some of the data with you. My next tool, and very, very nice tool, is something called a Site Condor. Now the good thing about Site Condor is, yes, it is paid, but compared to Screaming Frog, which just run for 500 pages, this one, when you click on the pricing here, is actually, you can just sign up for a trial. So you just put your name, company, email, password. Don't need to put, you could use your website URL right now. So once you press this sign up button, this is the screen you are presented. So you got a job, so you can create a job here. So you have a job. So once I create a job here, so this is the screen I get. So I just use protocol, I just use Digital Vidya. Here, just for my purpose, we use Digital User Agent as Googlebot, just to see if there is any clocking or something. I haven't changed any settings here, no settings here, just this pages is selected. I choose images, JavaScript also, and I set subdomain, include subdomain, cookies, and that's it. So this is, once you press go, it almost takes on a 20 minutes to 30 minutes to run this, and once you run this, this is the output you get. So you see the job results in 30 minutes. The best thing, this is on cloud. This is not running on my computer or anything, and not using my internet or a bandwidth, which might have issue at time. This is running on cloud. It stays there for people to share. So you see, if it shows 1671 pages scrolled, out of which 632 were pages, images were 624, JavaScript 28, CSS 0. So these are some of the one which you see. Redirects 216, other errors 1. So I see these are the job results which Google have gone through. Now let's see, the best thing is if I go to the section which is titles. So I see there are 622 pages title. If I go back, I will see, yes, there are 632 pages here. And if I see there are 622 pages which are HTML, out of them 174 has long title, one has missing title. So this is, I can see there that long title means these titles are probably more than 75 characters, won't show up in Google, that's something. So if I go on if I click on meta description, it says these are the longer description, these are missing one. Of course, I can click on any of these, download it. So that's something I can do. I also have a result where I can, this is something interesting, doesn't have. So if, for example, Digital Vidya doesn't have a microdata right now, but does have an authorship on the 15 pages, Twitter URL on 630. So probably all, and is using an open graph as well. So this gives you a complete output or complete data where you know how we can work on these. It also have a visual sitemap. So if you go on the top of this page, which is not visible right now, you click on the visual sitemap. This is a kind of sitemap it's going to show. So you know how your site is structured, how the crawler is going to see your website. So I know, for example, if I go to a training, they have the courses. So these, if you see all these trainings, so under trainings, they have different sort of courses, which we can see here. So that's something which is available for us to see. Now, if I go to the next tool, which is also one more tool which we have been using lately, is something called as SEO crawler. The only thing with, again, the SEO crawler runs free. Free sign up only uses around 500 pages, and let's see, if you sign up, it's just gonna crawl 500 URLs. So once you go to this, again, you sign up, you just type your project, Digital Vidya, max page limit. This you can't change. Of course, you can increase with a tweet or with a Facebook share. You can increase this, but for now, let's assume this is 500, and I'll show what exactly it helps in terms of beyond what we saw with the site contour. So you can just, I haven't changed any of these settings, and I go to next page. This is what it says. It takes some time, more times than the site contour, but the good thing about it, you can select here internal links. You can see which has title, which one has H1, close to what you see with the Screaming Frog. But the good thing is, when you take your mouse here, and if you see, it actually gives you load time as well. That's not what the load time which the Screaming Frog or site contour gives. So again, another tool for you to understand and use your website, which we think is very, very valuable. Now, once you have fixed your broken links and when you have fixed your basic forks, let's see what exactly we have when it comes to the other part. Which second thing which is going important with the usability is usability, which we think is going to play a major role when it comes to the SEO and usability, is because even if you get a lot of visitors, even if you rank and you are not converting, then the usability becomes a question. So let's see, if you get a site, how do you check the usability? Keeping search engines and search engine people, I mean the people who are visiting from search engines, so those visitors in mind. Let's see those ones. So first of all, what is your website? So you see, what is the objective? Is the objective of a website is to sell? For example, if I am an e-commerce website, is my homepage talking about the products? Is it just a e-commerce? So it's just a static page just talking about my services. So its objective has to be clear. It's the site should have a clear call to action. Some of these are usability, keeping in mind that you get better conversion. Not all are relevant for the SEO specifically, but understand SEO job is to get rankings and traffic, but eventually it has to be conversion. So it's good time for you to initially review. Does the website has clear call to action? So they have a product or a service. Does it has a request a code, or does it have a button which says request more information? Does it has a link for that? So it should have a clear call to action. What do you expect your user to do? That's important. Of course, it answers any uncertainty. If people have a doubt about the service, does it answer? Does it has a FAQ section? Very, very relevant when it comes to Google Hummingbird update. Does the website navigation is friendly? Again, important from a search point of view, that people can understand what is the navigation structure. Of course, avoid long paragraph. We and you don't have a very less short time span, so it becomes important for us to avoid a long paragraphs and have information in small paragraphs. And of course use images. I'm not advocating a use of images instead of text, but images, of course, we say picture speaks larger than word, so images are important for you to understand and do when it comes to these, instead of just using the text. So image make the content more rich, and of course you can use all tags, you can rename the images, so that is something which also helps. Of course, meaningful friendly URLs. Two benefits of this. Benefit one, you get to have a URL which is search engine friendly. Benefit two, the URL is easier for user to remember and to get back, and of course to share. So that becomes meaningful. If your product is talking about something, that it should have that product itself. Of course, your website should have testimonials and reviews. A lot of us read reviews, a lot of us read testimonials, and that becomes very, very important for us. And simple sign up and contact form. Don't have a very long form. Of course, from a search point of view, you have a long form, it has JavaScript, the form is longer. So of course, in the shorter form, it's the crisper it is for crawlers to crawl, for users to fill. So that helps in this case. And of course, the site, it becomes very, very, has to be mobile friendly. I mean, the recent study shows there are more than 30% of the traffic on the e-commerce website in the US right now comes from the mobile. So that's something we have to look into. That site, does your site opens good in mobile? Is it probably the image is too big and doesn't adjust to the web due to the browser in the, let's say, in a mobile? So that's very important for you to see. Now let's see one of the tool which we see for usability check, which is a Power Mapper. Again, the URL is given here. You could go to Power Mapper and just type test a site. Just enter the address of your site. Again, in this case, we have used not used some, but you could. The good thing about is it takes about slow loading time, hard to read pages, duplicate page titles. But most important is it gives you W3 usability guidelines and US federal usability guidelines. Usability, again, W3C, it is usability, not W3C validation, but it's a usability which is again good for you to understand if the website is lacking something. So that's something very important for us to see. So again, another tool for you can use and to improve your site. All these tools, if you see, for example, a tool we saw it improves broken links, or from a user point of view, they are increasing your value. So your website is error free, the scroller is able to crawl through it, the user is able to understand from a usability point, and exactly it's actually going to get you better conversions. Now let's see some of the source code. So when we optimize the source code, there are some things which we see. So we see canonicalization basically mean, are we serving the same URL on the www or non-www, or a folder structure or a non-folder structure? So this is the canonicalization which Google has attacked. If there is a canonicalization duplicate content URL issue, have we fixed that? Meta keywords are no longer relevant. So title and description of course show in the search results. Meta keywords are no longer relevant, so that's what we remove the meta keywords. Have your page little smaller. The meta keywords are not going to help if your page source code will decrease when you remove the meta keyword. Of course, have an iframe. If you have an iframe, try to remove it. If there is a hardcode JavaScript, try to have it external. And you can use a web developer toolbar, disable all the images, load the page, and see how it does work. And web developer toolbar is available for Chrome as well as for Firefox. However, if you don't want to use a web developer toolbar, there is another SEO browser, one of my favorites. You could just use your address, we're gonna see, and just don't press the advanced because it takes you the paid version. Just press the simple. So we just again put digital Vidya, and that's it. So you see if there is an issue, how far in the code the content comes, is there something that the content can be read by search, is it crawlable enough? So these are the type of things which you can find here. Now let's go to the next one. Once you have done the technical audit which we have done, let's go to the content audit. So the content audit is very, very important for us to understand. We're going to talk about content from a user point of view now and from a search point of view. But the content, there are a couple of things, and in fact there are only two things which are very important. What are those? Once you have to do the duplicate content check. Does your website has too much of a duplicate content? And the second is thin content check. So let's see how you can do both of these. Both of these are seen as a negative in Google, and Google can actually penalize your site in Panda for that. So checking duplicate content using Google, of course, just pick 7 or 8 words, put them in with quotes. It's very, very important to put them in with quotes, and just press Google search, and you're gonna go to a page which is gonna give you results. So checking content using Google is the simplest one. It's going to show the pages wherever the content is matching. Of course, there is another tool which is Copyscape, paid tool, but the free version gives you a good idea about that. You can just go into the page. The free version, and it gives you what kind of tools, what kind of sites are having the content. We of course use Copyscape paid version. cheap. You could buy a $10 credit and it gives you it could give you almost 1000 pages. You can run that. It's like, so yeah, so you could run 1000 pages with $10, and that's worth the money with kind of technology Copyscape has. Now Copyscape, what does it does, it is just checks the duplicacy with the external websites. Another tool launched by Copyscape which I'm going to discuss is SiteLiner. The SiteLiner is a tool where you could check internal duplicacy. The good point about this SiteLiner is you can actually run the website and it's gonna give you almost, again, 500 pages limitations is here, but the good thing is it gives you a lot of internal duplicacies and gives you an idea if they have an issue. However, one very important thing for you to understand, because SiteLiner, if you are not using a paid version, it's not gonna update on it. So let's say if I run it right now, it shows me a list of 5, 10, 20 pages which are having a problem in Google, or which are having an internal duplicacy, and if I fix them and run it again, it will still continue to show the same problem. So for one time it's good, but it's not going to update unless you're going to pay. So that's something we have seen. We talked to them and they said you have to have a pay version, but again, a tool to just give you an idea, because once you fix the internal duplicacy, you know you have fixed it, right? So that becomes important. Now let's see how you could fix the thin content issue. Of course, kind of thin content is when you have a low unique ratio. So for example, a contact us page just have an email address, but it has the same tool, same header, same footer, same links. So that kind of a unique content on the page is very, very less. So a contact us page which just have 50 words or less is probably going to be coming into a low unique content. Of course, then we have seen another example which is a repetitive content on category pages or footer. So you come across a web page where the content is repetitive on category pages. So for example, a lot of e-commerce website has a content which is on the category, and there is a pagination which continues going on the next page, and we see that's the content which is repetitive. So repetitive content on category pages or footer, that's another problem you can have. So it's important for you to understand if you can fix that. Footer could have a same about us, that's another problem. And very important, you can go to Google Analytics, just go to the bounce rate and see any page which has a bounce rate between 95 to 99.9%. Kind of seems the user is not happy, and probably seems to be that either you need to have a good content on it, and either it's a thin content where people don't like it and just go off. The way you can check with the average time, of course, a normal web page won't have a 0.1 to a 5 seconds, so you could see if any page has a lesser time. You could actually go Google Analytics and check that. Content with less word count, Screaming Frogs comes, which gives you actually which pages has less content, so you have an idea. And now a lot of people ask how much fairly content should every page have. I would say it should have at least 100-150 words of unique content. But again, very important for you to understand, the ratio should be more. So you can't just have 100 word and have a lot of footer complete with the content and about us, the header, and that percentage of this 100 just goes less than 10-20%. That's going to be a problem. And of course, you can check with URL parameter handling features via Google Webmaster Tool. A lot of time the paginations, the sorting URLs are indexed by Google, and if you go to Google Webmaster Tool, you could actually block them. But again, this is something if you are experienced enough or are comfortable, do it. I will not recommend everybody and anybody to just go in your URL parameter and just block the page, but that could actually kill your website in Google. So this is something we do as an expert, but I don't recommend it to everyone. Of course, there is a pagination issues as I discussed. So you move to page 1, 2, 3 and the content just remains same, just the product changes. So let's say a category description remains same. So this is another thing which you can find, which you think you can have an issue with. So these are kind of some of the issues you can have a thin content, and some of the ways to find out, discover thin content. Once you find out, of course, need to replace those thin content, do some Twitter about it, post it on G+, and let Google crawl it. So that's very, very important to have. Now, and of course, non-index URL, which I showed you in the initially, you could check with via Google Webmaster Tools. Now let's move to a link audit. Link audit is just, I would say it's another presentation. I'm just gonna briefly touch. Once you have a web page, website which you have actually verified in Google, it's very, very important. So what exactly you need to do is with the backlink analysis. So of course, what is the backlink analysis? The process of reviewing websites that are currently linking back to you and their quality. So are they quality? Is there a quality website? So there are parameters which you see, and you can useful for monitoring competitor backlinks. And of course, if you have suffered a manual spam penalty, it's an essential process. Some of the tools you can use are Google Webmaster Tools, Ahref, which is paid, Majestic SEO paid, or Open Site Explorer. This is another tool again could be a presentation to explain you some of these, but just briefly touch it. These are some of the major tools you could use to run your backlink analysis. Again, all of the tools, which is Ahref, Majestic SEO and OSE, gives you an option to run the website give you some links for free. For example, Ahref gives you some chances to free. So those are the things which you can do there. Let's see. Once you have done your link analysis and when you have done your the content, then comes the research keyword, and let's see how and what people do search for. And I'm here going to share some of the important and some of the different type of keyword research tools. I mean, the same keyword research tool, how you could use it differently. So some of these I have picked over reading, and some of these I have tested on experience. Some of this we have done with our team. So let's see some of the research tools. And for any SEO campaign, it's very important that you choose the right keyword. So choosing the right keyword is very important. It's necessary to do some keyword analysis. That's very important. What is the volume of traffic for the keywords combinations? Have the other websites. So if you choose a keyword, search for the website. Do you see the type of sites coming? Are they relevant to your business? Do you see a very big site? Do you see Wikipedia, or do you see India Times or Times of India, or some big website which are coming? So the bigger the website, harder it's going to be. I will not recommend initially going after those hard keywords. Again, who sits in the number one spots for this is, again, as I said, is very important for you to understand. What keywords are my competition targeting? So that becomes important. What kind of a keywords are those targeting? Again, you can do a little bit tools and see there. You can see what kind of a keyword those are targeting, which you will understand with their services. Going through using some tools like SEMrush, you could just put your website in their website in SEMrush. It will give you some idea about the keywords. Okay, and what do the keyword says? Of course, when person is searching, they have a different intent. So the intent of a mindset, you probably just surfing. The person is researching, or the person is ready to buy. So if I'm using a keyword, let's say mobile phone, you don't know what is my mindset. I'm searching. I'm probably a surfer, or am I doing a research, or maybe I'm a buyer. But when I buy Samsung S4, right, Galaxy S4, so that's when the buy. So you would like not to rank for a keyword mobile phone, but you would love to rank for a keyword which is buy Samsung S4 mobile phone, or even buy Samsung Galaxy S4. So the good thing is, when you rank for these keywords, yes, the volume would be less, but if you see, the conversion will be more, because the person mindset is right, very clear that the person is in mindset. Now I'm going to take you through some of the tools which we have used. Of course, the tool is Google Keyword Planner, which is available for free, and you type just in Google with a Google Keyword Planner, and this is a tool which Google removed before there was a Google Keyword tool. And if you see, it gives you the option. Now I'm just not going to take you through the normal way how we do it. I'm just going to take you through different ways. This tool and this exercise which I'm going to share right now is going to help you just not even get only the ideas about the keyword you should choose, but also give you the kind of content you should write which would actually attract more visitors to your website and maybe get you more links. So let's see how this is. First of all, you click on search for new keywords and add group ideas. Then of course, the next page, this is very important. The landing page which you are expecting to rank in top, just paste in the landing page. This methodology which I'm talking was something which was discussed on website Advanced Web Ranking, which is a ranking software. So I'm just taking some of the points from there and I'm sharing, because I think it's very good idea. So I'm sharing this with you. So once you share your landing page example here, paste in the landing page. Of course, you could choose your target country and languages and just press the next button. So here we do just do. So we just type this keyword and Google understands there. So just the kind of keywords, the kind of URLs Google is showing: high heel shoes, home accessories, home decor stores. So you see the kind of words. Now the good thing is, you see there is a competition and there is a suggested bid and there is an average monthly list. So you could just go out and do some of these average monthly researches. So let's say you want something which is not being very heavily bid. So these are the type of filters you can have. But let's go beyond that and let's see how you could do. Instead of just putting your landing page, what you could do, you could put Wikipedia keyword in the keyword planner. For example, just search your industry term in Google, let's say at a mobile phone. I have to put the Wikipedia page on mobile phone and put the planner. Use filter to refine your list. So for example, I can go and I say I want keyword which are, let's say, more than 10 times or more than 100 times search, and I would like to have a suggested bid which is less than, let's say, 45 cents or more than 45 cents. I could choose, and then I can just do this. So I can list, and of course, once you have this keyword Wikipedia page, it's gonna give you a list of keywords. Of course, when the Wikipedia page is talking about mobile phones, you can actually use that Wikipedia page and actually go to Open Site Explorer, which is again free to give you some results. You can just type there, and any pages which is going to link there are going to be for mobile phone. You can you can actually take out those URLs and do the same run there, and you can actually check out the topics from those articles in keyword planner. So that's something you can run and you can find, and it's going to give you some of those ideas. So for example, here you would find some of the tools, some of the write-ups which it's just talking about. So it's going to talk about some of the ideas there, and of course you can find links to Wikipedia. You can also find links which are closely URLs which are closely related to the wiki page. So if you would do this exercise is of immense help. Let's see more ways to use keyword planner. You can put your competitors in keyword planner. It's gonna give you the keywords. You can put Pinterest, you can put Reddit topics, put industry topics. You can do most of these things to get ideas about the keywords, and also to get the ideas, the kind of content you should write. So you would suddenly start finding keywords which are like how to or guide. Trust me, we have seen it works beautifully. So I would recommend you to go out and try this, and it doesn't take too much of a time. It gives you both idea. So a lot of people come, what type of a blog should I write, what kind of a content should I write, which people are searching. This is the answer. So once you are done with this is where we end up. You organize your keywords. You can organize your keywords by language, by location, by target audience, by purchase cycle, importance, legal requirement, brand names, product names, model number. So this is something you can do, and I would just a brief advice: optimize each page for a different keyword combinations, and don't choose single keyword. 3-5 keywords combinations are at best. Don't choose generic keyword, be specific. Don't choose hotly contested keyword like mobile phones. Use geographical qualifiers, that is India. So if I'm in India, I would say buy Samsung mobile S4, Galaxy S4 India, and put yourself in buyer shoes. Look what the buyer is buying. Don't just look for what the volume is going to be, but very, very important. And choose keyword that align with the buying state. So you see the keyword, this is a keyword which people are going to be interested to buy, and choose the keyword that aligns with the buying state of the mind. That's very important. And once we have done this, you have to understand content is the king. I mean, of course, you all have heard that. So search engines are simply a mean to locate great content. Think whatever we search, Google gives you the keyword content result which has the similar content. So do you think, does your site has a great content, or is it a browserware? Does your site do anything else that will bring visitors back time and again? That's very, very important for you to answer. Of course, add content that people want to read and will pass on. For example, top 10 tips, how to guide, free white papers. Text should be in short sentences, compact paragraphs, be well punctuated, and contains headings to break up the text. Of course, page should not scroll. It should not have an endless scroll, because as you and me have less time spent, try to condense your information. One page theme, don't just talk about mobile phone and on the same page talk about, let's say, the tablets. So just talk about one page per theme, don't go overboard. Now, of course, text should be written from what's in it for me perspective, no fluff, just tell the customer what they want to hear. Add content regularly. If your site remains static, that it will lose prominence on search engines and visitor won't be coming back. So very, very good ideas to add content regularly is, for example, some of the ideas, a lot of people say, I don't have an idea. So these are some of the ideas. You could have a new products you could add, company activities, special offers, achievements. You have a new staff. You could talk about a case study about your product, testimonials from your customers, how to guide, the simplest way to do it, general advice about your products, observations, FAQs. These are some of the content you can have, and believe me, it could be tons of content. You don't need to be a content writer to produce this content every day. You just need to have this content added regularly. They don't need to be done on day one, but it's important to continue having your content, adding content regularly to your website. And just to summarize it, you should have a good site structure, should have a good title tag, description, page copy that is focused and contextual relevant, and of course building a natural links, which we are going to talk in a while. Now once you've done it, it's important, how do you measure the success? We both know that Google not provided, which we see is the lot of keyword. If you click on Google Analytics, you will see a lot of your results have gone not provided. So data and not provided keywords will decide. So you have to understand it's the data and not the not provided. We believe by this year end, this not provided is going to go 100%. If you see, average percentage is expected. So right now it has moved to 85% not provided. So if you go to your keyword list organic, you will see 85% of the URLs are actually keywords are under not provided. So you really don't know. So the point is, a lot of people say what to do, we don't have a keywords. So I would say stop winning about it. Let's move forward. Now how can we do it? Let's see. I mean, data source, of course, solution, you can see total organic visits to top landing page, total search minus brand clicks from WMT data, estimated visits per keyword via ranking, click share for product categories. So let's see how you can do that. Of course, you can do a conversion rate by landing page, by which phrase, of course, you are doing drive traffic, just the page generate content conversation. That's important for you to do. Important for you to understand when it comes to analytics tracking, keywords are secondary. You are not optimizing your website for keywords, you are optimizing your website for conversion. So don't worry about the specific phrases. For example, think landing pages for organic. Which one are these? Which are the important pages I have optimized? What kind of a traffic is coming for that landing pages? Are those leads converting? What can be done to improve traffic to those pages? You see, you need to work backward. Go to the landing pages, see what is the kind of a bounce rate I have. Can I decrease the bounce rate? So see what kind of a content that you have. If you work on that, that is a better strategy than just relying on keywords, because you end up optimizing your site for lots of keywords you haven't thought, which are long tail, and we all know long tail keywords converts better. Of course, how to identify key landing pages? You can go to examine landing pages. You could just go to Google Analytics, click on landing pages. It will give you a filter, and you can just click a filter organic searches, and then it's gonna give you these. So you will know which landing pages you have, and I'm gonna just take you through the kind of idea of how these landing pages can be occur and what it actually can help you get more keywords and more ideas to write. And let's go through that. So once you have these organic searches, you could just type this, and it's gonna give you the visits, the goal conversion. If you have provided, you put it per goal value, and then you see kind of keywords. So I see cost kind of URLs which I have. So for example, I have cost of LASIK, so I've saved keywords like LASIK, saving, cost, and like of likely phrases. These are the one. And once these likely phrases, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Google Webmaster Tools. I'm just gonna type cost and see what kind of a URLs comes from there. So I'm gonna see Google Webmaster Tools. So these are opportunity optimized. So for example, when I go to Google and type cost, so I see surgery. So what we've been optimizing here is most of LASIK. We hadn't had a word surgery. So suddenly with Google Webmaster Tool, I know these are some of the words which I could use. Now if I just download these tools and there is a do a cloud or a mashup, let's see how that works. So I can just extract those keywords, go to wordle.com or TechCrowd, just import these, and it's just gonna highlight. So you see, suddenly I know what should I be writing about: LASIK, cost, surgery, saving, commitment. So you see, suddenly you have a whole tag cloud of your keywords, and you can see you could repeat it for all of your keywords, landing pages, top 10 pages, compare engagement rate, identify best landing pages for keywords, and build the content around it. So how do we present that in a brief? This is how you end up. Sample SEO URL performance report. So you could see a URL total traffic last period, total traffic current period, changes. You could, of course, ranking is not relevant. We see the traffic, which of course we can traffic numbers only if they exist in GWT. Don't just rely on a keyword traffic from a Google Webmaster Analytics, which suddenly it's by this year and it's gonna go 100%. This is the kind of sheet we have. Now let's move. Once you have this, what actually we can do, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about shift in balance and how we can do content and links. So what actually is technical? Yes, is a small part, but once you have fixed technical, which is just once. So if I have a technical problem, and it's not gonna happen every day, I have a broken link or I have a broken page, that's not gonna happen every day. So how the shift in balance is happening? So once I have a technical and once I have a content. So let's see. This is 2008. In fact, this was as low as 2011. The SEO was this. We just used to do one page and we used to do link building. Now SEO is this. We do content marketing, we do on page, we do content strategy, we do link building, mobile, UX, site speed, video. This is in 2014 what SEO has become. Now forget keywords as anchor text. Very, very important after Google Penguin. Don't just work on building links for keyword. Don't just work building links for Samsung mobile phone. That's not valuable. It's actually going to hurt you badly. So, and build links with your content. Very, very important. You build links with your content, and that's going to help you win. But the question is how. Everybody talks about links. How we can do it? So we're going to share how we can build links with the content. Of course, number one, engaging content could be with social, PR, and of course real content. So we're gonna see what kind of a content we can have. You can pick content type. You can pick white papers. You could be blog, for example, relevant to your business. You could put images. You could put an audio or a video content. You can have an event and content from event webinar. For example, this what we are doing right now is creating content. This webinar, which is gonna be available for you, is gonna be creating content. We could have email users. So these are different ways of producing content. Once you have produced content, it is very, very important what kind of content you should build. Content with high search link intent. Don't just build content which is a high conversion, because you're building content to get more links. So for important keyword like facts, keywords information, keyword data, these are important keywords for you to build. And you type facts, so these are the keywords which you fill. And of course, then we move to, once you have the keyword, when you are doing an anchor text in the links, avoid exact match. So you can use naked keyword URL such as your website.com. You could use generic, click here, this website, brand keywords, page traffic, just an example of ours, page traffic India, page traffic, or page traffic SEO company. Again, learn the art of storytelling. So you could connect with your clients, customers, employees, products, services. This is something which, of course, you can have a social graph to peer influence, which you gets you backlinks, credibility from PR, of course, and you get a higher online engagement. And let's gonna talk about the knowledge graph which is there, and we're gonna talk about a knowledge graph and how does it affect the website. So what exactly is a knowledge graph? Knowledge graph, as I shown you, something. How does it help? So once Google launched knowledge graph last year, let's see some of the data what has happened. So in a study of 8 sites with 20 million, if you see the site where the results where knowledge graph was not coming, the CTR was 13%. And once the knowledge graph showed for a particular keyword, actually CTR dropped. So let's see how does it happen. So this is kind of knowledge graph you see, rise of knowledge graph, and this you see, this is something which we see here. And how does it affect site? In first position, average CTR dropped from 22% to 12% when the CTR with the knowledge graph showed. In fact, if you see, but when used correctly, the knowledge graph actually showed an overall increase in the site, and I'm going to just show how it actually can help you with that. So what actually happens is, how do you fight back against the knowledge graph? You could use, how does the knowledge graph works? Knowledge graph takes data. For example, this knowledge graph right now takes data from your Wikipedia, Freebase, so collecting and organizing your information. So it's for, if you have a listing in Wikipedia, you have an information in Freebase, that's something. So the knowledge graph primary source is Wikipedia, which is of course, and Freebase. And Freebase is an incredible database which has been used, and with no surprises is owned by Google, but you can actually go there and edit your data and have a correlation. So if you go to try, I would recommend you to go to try freebase.com. You can have your content added. Don't expect that the moment you add in Freebase, it's actually going to show in the knowledge graph. So, but it's important to have put your content in Freebase. I would encourage you to go and try that out. And the knowledge graph also gets data from one more important source, and that is Google Plus. So if you see recent post, that recent post here shows from Google Post, and it's very, very important for you to connect to your Google Plus page, and Google Plus will start posting your latest G Plus post here when somebody do a brand search for you. Here also, once you have done this, there is another way to optimize. Once you have, let's say, ranking, so you have titles. Now what all you can control on your results. So you can control the title, you can control the authorship. So here we have a Digital Vidya's authorship. You have a meta description which you can rewrite. These search snippets, so let's say if I don't want my about page, I can go and remove the search, and that's something. So you could optimize your search result, which is title should be mostly branded. If keyword search is there, it usually helps CTR. Google authorship, of course, we have seen Google authorship helps in better CTR, but I'm not gonna, if you have a product site, I'm not gonna recommend you incorporating in all the web pages. Description should be a call to action similar to a page. So this description has to be sensible, because what user is reading is this title and descriptions and actually going to it. And of course, search snippets which are there, you could actually have them implemented as well. Now let's see something which Google launched recently was author rank, which we see this. How do you ensure that everybody is using the images? How do you ensure your article or your content comes up? That's where we're gonna see. So what is exactly is authorship, which we all know, of course, and that's from the Google authorship author Hansen, which talks about, we know that great content comes from great author, and we are closely looking at way this markup could help us highlight authors and rank search results. For example, once you have structured data and microdata, your results start showing up there. And what is Google authorship rank, which highlights author, of course. And author rank is about fusing the web of people with the web of documents and creating a more savvy view of internet influence. How can I build my author rank, which is actually going to help me get better traffic and get me better results in terms of my article? How will it occur in the top? So if I see my author rank, what we use, once you have a write up done, it's important you do a +1 for those. You share on your G+, you actually share on your Twitter. There is comments, of course. There is an authority of a publishing site where you are posting number of people you have in circles, number of course, how much Google engagement you have, and how much you are posting frequency. These are some of the things. Once you do this, then you would come up for checklist to improve author rank. Of course, you could check your Google Plus feed and interact. Once you have a Google Plus, update your blog regularly. Start building visibility with the authors. Look interesting people, circle them. Important thing, it's not important who circles me, it's also counts whom I'm circling with. So, and it doesn't cost anything. I can circle anything. I can circle mat cuts. You can have anything. So have relevant related people to add it to your circle. And let's touch a little bit about social media for SEO. We are running short of time. With social media for SEO, I'm not going to run through, but you could just thrive. You could optimize your Facebook page, and this is how you can optimize your Facebook page, which again gets crawled. This is the description, which actually is read by search engines. It's important, number of lines this all shows. If you want to understand how you can do it further optimization, you can do it how to SEO your Facebook page for Google. You can go to this URL pt.gy SEO of FB page, and you can download this free white paper which we have written for Facebook page. Just to summarize what is more important for you and what we see in SEO, you should start asking the right question. So wrong question is, how do I rank number one? And what would be the right question? What's the best strategy to drive traffic to my site and convert it? That's the best strategy. With that, I would end my session, and I will thank you all. Of course, you could follow me on Twitter. This is our blog. You could be a Facebook fan. We regularly update our Facebook content here. And with that, ends my session, and I'm open to questions. Thank you.